Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram today. In fact, we are having three matches to cover today. So, as you know, Australia versus South Africa, India versus New Zealand in the first day of the second Test match, when India dominated proceedings. But the thing that I'm going to begin with is another last ball victory. But again, this time, that the other day, as you know, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka clashed in the first T20, and we saw in that last ball Anamul Haq was out, and Bangladesh lost that match by 2 runs. Today, Bangladesh was on the other side of it. They were not batting, but they were bowling. Farhad Reza actually bowled 5 good balls when 9 runs were required of the last over, with Sachitra Sen and Tisra Pereira at the strike, and he was bowling pretty well for the first 5 balls that Farhad Reza was bowling. It was a spinner who was bowling. Just imagine this. And Farhad Reza was bowling very nicely. He was not giving away any boundaries for the first 5 balls. And then Senanayake unveiled a boundary through the square leg region of the final ball of the over to once again get this match. The match once again become a cliffhanger. And finally, once again Sri Lanka won, but this time with the bat. So Bangladesh have been proved unlucky in both the T20s, and Sri Lanka took the T20 series 2-0, with Sri Lanka making 123 for 7 of their 20 overs in reply to Bangladesh 120. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that, and I'm also going to tell you what happened in the last over. So 120 was what Bangladesh put up on the board, and Farhad Reza and Sri Lanka, the match came down to the wire with the last 6 balls requiring 9 runs for Bangladesh to actually defeat Sri Lanka. And this time it was, in fact, the ball was given to Farhad Reza, the spinner, and one would have wondered why, but Farhad Reza did a wonderful job. The first ball that he bowled to Pereira, it was a full ball outside the off stump, and Tisra Pereira actually worked it towards the mid wicket and took a single. Senanayake came on strike, and Senanayake drove the ball past extra cover and went for 2 runs. After that, the next delivery that Farhad Reza bowled, it was stroked by Senanayake to the long on region, and they ran pretty hard and took the second run. And after that, the fourth delivery, which Farhad Reza bowled to Senanayake, just 1 run came off that particular ball, and the ball was actually hit by Senanayake to long on. And then Tisra Pereira finally came into strike, and Tisra Pereira, you know what damage he can do. The first ball, what he did is he actually took a single. In fact, Farhad Reza was bowling to Senna, as I said, Pereira was on strike on the 5th delivery, and he took a single, and that meant that Senanayake was on strike, and Senanayake had to actually hit only a single run. In fact, there was only 1 run to go. If at all he hits the 1 run, the match would have been tied. It would have gone into a super over, but Senanayake slammed Farhad Reza, the spinner, behind square leg for a wonderful boundary, and Sri Lanka getting victory of the final ball of this T20 match. So one can really one can really know that Sri Lanka and Bangladesh would be a tough competition when the T20 World Cup starts in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh actually Sri Lanka actually taking the series 2-0. In fact, they did it in wonderful style. The man of the match went to Tisra Pereira, and the man of the series went to Nuwan Kulasekara, not only for his bowling, also for his brilliant fielding by taking 2 blinders today early on in the Bangladeshi innings. Just talking about the match here, as I said, I can only do a summary. Bangladesh were the ones who actually batted first. They had Sabir Rahman today actually making his debut. As I said, he's a good hard hitter of the ball. He showed us why by contributing the highest score of 26 of 36 balls with 2 fours. Bangladesh made a score of 120 batting first. They were all out for 120. And the bowling, well, Lasith Malinga, 3.5 overs, no made in 20 runs on 3 wickets, now has the highest number of wickets in the T20 form of the game. He has 236 wickets, and he's having the highest number of wickets in T20 matches. As far as Bangladesh were concerned, Tamim Iqbal was out for 2, Shamsul Rahman was out for 1, Anamul Haq, well, he definitely showed some real gumption there by hitting Dilshan for almost 20 runs in an over. Then he clubbed him for 2 sixes over the mid-wicket region and 2 fours. Shakib Al Hasan could contribute only 12. He was taken brilliantly by Kulashekara. Kulashekara took 2 brilliant catches today. One was of Shakib Al Hasan in the fence, and the other one he took it at extra when Sabir Rahman slammed the ball from Malinga, and at cover he dived and took a wonderful catch. Nasir Hussain out for 8, Mahmudullah was out for 9, Farhad Reza was out for 9, and Mashraf Murtaza, the captain, contributed 17 runs, slamming 4 boundaries. And finally, the Bangladeshi innings, they were all out for 120. Bowling, Dilshan 1 for 23, 2 for 32 for Kulashekara, Senanaike 2 for 11, Malinga bowled superbly 3 for 20, none for 9 for Angelo Matthews, Mendes 1 for 21. As far as Sri Lanka were concerned, they didn't have it easy at all. Even though the 120 runs was put on Bangladesh, I thought the Bangladeshi captain Mashraf Murtaza did a very good job by rotating his bowlers in a very, very clever manner and not giving any bowler a long bowl. He kept on rotating the bowlers. In fact, he started off with Arafat Sunny, the left arm spinner, and Sri Lanka, they got a good start from the bat of Kushal Pereira, the slammer, who slammed 21 runs of 18 balls with 3 fours and 1 6, and then they lost Dilshan and Chandimal pretty quickly for 3 apiece, and then Kumar Sangakkara came in, and Kumar Sangakkara came in, but he lost they lost the wicket of Angelo Pereira, who was playing his first game today. He was gone for 4. Angelo Matthews was sent to the pavilion for 2, and Kulashekara was run out for 2. And suddenly there was pressure on Sri Lanka at that particular stage when they were 50 for 6 when Kulashekara was out. But then Kumar Sangakkara and Tisra Pereira pushed the score on to 96 before Sangakkara fell to the bowling of Rubal Hussain after making 37 runs of 38 balls. And at that time, it was looking like Bangladesh would be, because when Sangakkara departed, that was in the 17th over, and it looked like Bangladesh would really, tighten it up on Sri Lanka. But as I said, Tisra Pereira and Senanaika then actually taking the Sri Lankans to victory. As I said, of the final ball of the 20th over, Senanaika hitting a boundary. He was not out on 12 of 9 balls with 1 4. Tisra Pereira was not out on 35 of 28 balls with 3 fours, and thus ended the match and also ended the series with Sri Lanka winning the series 2-0. But what a T20, what two T20 matches that we had. It was absolutely spellbinders, I would say. And I'm not going to look at the bowling figures because I'm really short of time. So let's get on to the other match that we are talking about the first day's play in the the second test match between New Zealand and India. For New Zealand, there were 2 debuts, Tom Latham and Jimmy Neesham. As far as New Zealand were concerned, as I said, Basin Reserve in Wellington is a pitch which is suited for the pace bowlers. India decided to go in with the same team. As far as New Zealand were concerned, Brendan McCullum, the New Zealand captain, winning the toss. The Indian captain, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, winning the toss, and Brendan McCullum of New Zealand not having any luck with the toss once again, immediately put New Zealand into bat. And for New Zealand, it was a very tough examination. Initially, the openers were playing on well, but once Zahir Khan and Mohammad Shami were out of their spells, in the sense when the first change bowler Ishant Sharma came, he was the one who rattled the New Zealanders, bowling some very good line and returning figures of 17 overs, 3 maidens, 51 runs and 6 wickets. Ably supported by Mohammad Shami, 16.5 overs, 4 maidens, 70 runs and 4 wickets. That enabled India to bowl out New Zealand for 192. So New Zealand were all out for 192. The only good thing being the highest scorer was Kane Williamson, who contributed 47 with 6 fours. In fact, there was everything in it for the bowlers. The bowlers moving about. There was some bounce. And as I said, this was a quickish pitch with a greenish tinge on that. And the Indian bowlers absolutely exploited it in a beautiful manner, especially Ishant Sharma, showing some very good work by actually getting 6 wickets for 51 runs. As far as New Zealand were concerned, 13 to Peter Fulton, Hamish Rutherford contributing 12 runs with 2 fours. Williamson was the highest scorer, and he played well, 47 with 6 fours, but unfortunately for New Zealand, Ross Taylor was not there, unfortunately. Tom Latham, making his debut, was out for a duck after facing 8 deliveries. Brendan McCullum was sent to the pavilion by Mohammad Shami for 8. Corey Anderson counter-attacked with 24 runs with 3 fours and 1 6. Brian Watling was gobbled up by Rohit Sharma for a duck brilliantly. And then it went to they were at a situation where they were 86 for 6 at one stage, but then a real counter punching started by Jimmy Neesham, who was actually making his debut, played some handsome strokes, contributing 33 of 35 balls with 7 fours, and Tim Southee slamming sixes at will, making 32 of as many balls with 1 4 and 3 sixes, and finally New Zealand were all out for 192, and as I said, Ishant Sharma, pick of the bowlers, 6 wickets for 51 runs. As far as India were concerned, for India they finished off at 100 for 2, so I thought they finished off strongly towards the end of the day. They lost Murali Vijay pretty early, caught Watling bowl Saudi for 2. Chatushan Pujara was out LBW to an in-dipper from Trent Bolt. He was gone for 19. But Shikhar Dhawan, continuing his good form that he had in the first test, was undefeated on 71 runs with 10 fours and 1 6. Ishant Sharma, the night watchman, was sent in. He was not out on 3, and India were 100 for 2. So the 1 wicket apiece to Trent Bolt and Tim Southee. Now let's get on to the other game. We are talking about the third day's play in the first test match between Australia and South Africa. On day 3, well, in fact, the South African innings, the only thing that South Africa did well was that they avoided the follow-on by making 206, and it was thanks in the main to A.B. de Villiers, unfortunately missing his century. He was gone for 91 with 10 fours and 2 sixes. Once again, it was Mitchell Johnson today, returning figures of 17.1 overs, 1 maiden, 68 runs and 7 wickets, and South Africa were all out for 206. Peterson was out for 10, 2 fours. Philander was contributed 15 of 35 balls. Steyn was not out on 7. So 206 all out South Africa. And as far as Australia were concerned, Australia in reply putting up a very good score on the board, in fact taking a huge lead of I thought it was almost 191 run lead, and on the 191 run lead they capitalized by finishing the day on a very strong note and really dictating terms to South Africa, finishing at 288 for 3, with Chris Rogers being an early victim to Steyn for 1. David Warner going on to an aggressive century, making 115 with 13 fours and 2 sixes. Alex Doolan on his debut, definitely missing a century, but he deserved one. He played coolly and played with a very cool and calm. He was absolutely composed at the crease. What one saw was that his back foot strokes were absolutely a treat to watch, and his cover driving was also very good, and he was playing some effortless strokes, and Doolan was looking a real classic in the way he was playing, and he contributed 89 runs with 12 fours and 1 6. Very unlucky unlucky to miss a century, but this partnership from 1 for 1 when Rogers departed took the score on to 206, and finally Australia at stumps on day 3, as I said, dictating terms to South Africa, were 288 for 3, with Sean Marsh not out on 44 and looking good with 5 fours and 1 6. Michael Clarke was not out on 17 with 3 fours, and South Africa have a big task here, with Australia leading by 479 runs going into the 4th day with 7 wickets remaining. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I'm really short of time. That's the reason I'm rushing out through this with only a summary today. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. Your host Ram. We'll see you tomorrow, that is on a Saturday, but probably tomorrow it's not going to be a late Cricket Happening show as I normally do on Saturday. It would be a early Cricket Happening show, so you would be seeing me talking on a second day's play between India and New Zealand, and also on the 4th day's play, which is an interesting day between Australia and South Africa. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.